Jackie. Jackie, I want you to take this package to this address. It is very important that you give this package your utmost attention. If I find out that you're loafing around at that cafe again, stuffing your face, oh...
Don't worry, grandfather. I'm on my way.
Okay, boss, we're on to it. Well, get it and bring me the old man.
Where do you think you're going? Isn't that your grandson?
Grandfather! Look out! Keep the chase!
Jackie! Oh, go after the truck! The package, Jackie! Jackie! The package!
Grandfather! Grandfather!
Alright, and here we are for another episode of the PSXDAD Hour. Today we are going to be playing Jackie Chan Stuntmaster on the PlayStation 1. Outside of that cutscene there, I'll probably continue talking, unless there's major story going on, but I don't think story is going to matter too much in this game. But if you haven't watched one of these, this is going to be about an hour long footage of playing the game along with some live commentary, just to give you a feel for this. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started here. So you can see that the World Trade Centers are featured pretty prominently. I think this game was made in the year 2000, so right before the 9/11 attack. So kind of one of those games that's kind of a relic of the past here. But as you can kind of already see from the opening cutscene, I mean, the game does have the charm of the Jackie Chan movies, which is part of, what makes Jackie so appealing. It's kind of in a similar way to Arnold in that sense. It's just the charisma is off the charts to go along with the action. But I mean, obviously the difference is that Jackie does all his own stunts. Well, interestingly enough for this game, he did all the voice work, he did motion capture for it, and was actually pretty involved in the making of this game. So it plays like your traditional beat 'em up. As you can see here.
My brain is arguing. Let's sit down and discuss this like a gentleman. Catch me if you can.
Let's continue on here. But from what I remember, it's been a long time since I played this game. But from what I remember, it was an awesome game back in the day. You know, I mean, nothing stellar, but, you know, being a Jackie Chan fan... Push this, okay. Being a Jackie Chan fan, it was really cool to kind of play through a beat 'em up game as Jackie. Now, I had not played the NES game, where, you know, you kind of do a similar thing as this, except side-scrolling. But having said that, I mean, this and the Game Boy Advance game based off the later cartoon are both pretty awesome games, in my opinion, if you're a Jackie Chan. Now, I mean, if you're not a Jackie fan, they're probably pretty standard beat 'em up games. You can see, I mean, it just really has the feel of a Jackie Chan film here. Obviously with a blocky, cartoony style. He's kind of wearing like a... it always kind of reminded me, for whatever reason, of the Rumble in the Bronx kind of outfit going on. But the story setup in this game, with the working in a cafe... your grandpa is kidnapped. I mean, I think most of the movies use the uncle, but it's a very similar plot. It's like pretty much the plot of most Jackie Chan films.
Fight like a man. Uh-oh. Not the face! Not the face!
But, you know, playing a game like this has always made me, can I go up here? It's always made me want to watch more Jackie Chan films, which I've watched a pretty good amount of them. I was always a Jackie fan, although I will admit that I'm not like as well versed as some other people are. So I mean, like, I've seen, at least before they started getting really kind of questionable in quality, I've seen most of his American films. I've seen some you know, kind of like the bigger ones. But I by no means have seen like all his films. I mean, the guy has made a ton of films. And I am missing some of his better known foreign films. Although I guess for him, the American films would be his foreign films. But also true to a Jackie Chan film, I mean, you can pick up environmental items here, as you can see here. And kind of use the environment as part of your attack, which is kind of cool. So you do end up fighting with some pretty ridiculous stuff, such as, like, I know pretty early on in the game you fight with like some fish. You saw like a rolling pin there. So it kind of reminds you of the kind of slapstick nature of his kung fu. So I thought it'd be kind of fun as we're playing through this to kind of reflect back on some of his films, and you know, in the case of me, at least, like the films, you know, that I'm familiar with, I thought it might be kind of fun to kind of look at those. So I've kind of pulled up, you know, somebody's ranking of his films. And I thought I'd kind of talk through some of those as I was playing here. Yeah, so the top film that they've got, well, I guess really I should say the top two films that they've got. Here are the two Drunken Master and Legend of Drunken Master. And these are, yeah, here's, I guess, spoiler alert, there's the fish. And of course, Jackie, being as wholesome as he is, he's gonna drink milk to get some of his health back. But yeah, you can see here we can use the fish. But yeah, my experience with Drunken Master, I've seen, I believe, both of them. I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember if I've seen both of them, and I mean, they kind of blend together if I did. I remember thinking that they were really good, but you know, they didn't quite have, to me at least, they had some really cool fighting, some really cool stunts and things like that. They didn't quite have all the elements of at least what I enjoyed about a Jackie Chan film. Where'd this guy come from? So I don't know. I mean, personally, I don't hold Drunken Master quite as high as probably a lot of other people do, but I mean, it is pretty common for Drunken Master to be considered, you know, his best. I see that quite a bit. For me, personally, like, I started probably like a lot of people did with Rumble in the Bronx, which still is like a fantastic cheesy element to it even to this day, which I feel like a lot of this game kind of takes influence from, but from the point that, you know, I watched Rumble in the Bronx, then it's like I kind of moved into Police Story, which was my first introduction to his foreign films. And Police Story was awesome. Like, I do consider, even though it's not quite as goofy as some of his other films, I just think that, like, the stunts in that film are awesome. Oh, I was so close there. I was about to say, I don't think I'm going to make that. And, you know, having said that, they have Police Story number 3 on this list. So, I mean, I would definitely agree with that. That's definitely, like, among one of my top favorite Jackie Chan movies. And I mean, honestly, probably his Police Story saga is, in my opinion, some of his best films as a whole. There we go. Much better. And it would help if I was facing the right way to fight this guy. Because, I mean, the Police Story as a whole includes the first 2 Police Stories, and I believe the third one is Super Cop, and then I believe First Strike is next, and I can't remember if there's anything in between this, but I know there's like New Police Story, which has a different feel to it, but it's still a good movie. You know, that's one of his more recent in the series. But all those films are like awesome. The next one on here is Project A. Now, I personally don't believe that I've seen Project A. Jeez. Well, I definitely don't want to get stuck in between these guys, like most beat 'em ups. Alright, time to go get some milk. Hoping that would fall on that guy. Okay, now we're kind of getting the hang of these guys. Hit detection's a little bit questionable here. Oh god. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I don't really have an opinion one way or the other, because I think Project A is one of those movies that it's like, it's a big or a popular Jackie Chan film, but it's just one that either I haven't seen or I don't remember, so I don't really have too much affection towards that game. Or I'm sorry, not that game, that movie. So let's see, next on the list they've got Armor of God, which I think Armor of God was actually a really cool movie. It was kind of like his take on the Indiana Jones film, and I mean, honestly, it was better. I mean, it was certainly better than the newer Indiana Jones movie, The Crystal Skull, but it was a very fun and kind of cool take on that. Let's see, okay, I'm supposed to go straight ahead. Next they have Rush Hour, which I think Rush Hour is really great. I know some people are kind of like, oh, well, it's a very Americanized Jackie Chan film, but I mean, honestly, like, you know, I don't know if that's because, like, the Chris Tucker kind of taken over the film as much as he does, but I mean, I find Chris Tucker funny in the film, and I think that the movie as a whole is really good. Like, it's funny. It's got okay action. It does have some cool stunts. I mean, definitely not in the like quantity of his other films. But I mean, personally, I think it's a pretty cool film. And I enjoyed the rest of the series. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I think each one after Rush Hour is just kind of okay. But I will say, like, I do think, like, with the Rush Hour movies, I do think they have some really funny outtakes. So I think, like, some of their, because Jackie Chan always does, like, kind of, like, he kind of got into, like, when he did, like, bloopers and, like, when he, like, would set up for the stunts or, like, mess up with the stunts and things like that, in his films. I feel like we both, like, kind of jumped into each other there. But I do think that the Rush Hour ones are pretty funny. Which at the end of the day, I mean, that's all a Jackie Chan movie is to me. It's just have it be funny, have some cool stunts, have some cool fighting, And just be entertaining. Like, I mean, certainly you're not going into them for a deep plot or anything like that. We need to find some milk. Or rice. See if I can find anything else lying around. But I personally think sometimes people get too caught up in you know, the specifics of, you know, what a quality film is, and it's just like, is it entertaining? Like, yes, then it was good to me. Next on the list is Who Am I? Now, Who Am I is, I personally think is an awesome film. It's got some really cool stunts, including maybe my favorite stunt ever, where he slides down the building, which is absolutely insane. Like, I can't even imagine the thought process that goes into pulling off a stunt like that. Like, I mean, you just, like, you have to be like borderline crazy. I don't feel like I'm gonna make it through this fight with these two guys. And I feel like if I go over there where I think there's some milk, I'm gonna attract more guys.
Oh boy.
Oh, there's rice. Okay, maybe not. Oops, there's some additional items here. Ah, yes, the milk. Sweet milk. Yeah, Who Am I? Like, he is kind of like, he's got like amnesia or whatever. He's trying to figure out who he is, and he goes, all this crazy stuff starts happening around him. I think I go up here, yeah. But it's just a cool film. Like, it's a little bit, like, at least I don't remember as much goofiness in that film. But it's still, like, awesome. And it's probably up there for me. It's one of my favorite Jackie Chan films. Don't want to get that right now. Another slapstick prop there. Kind of take these guys on. Jeez, I'm taking a lot of punches. Well, I guess I'm gonna get that milk now. If I don't, and I continue on to, because I'm assuming this is where I want to go, then I'm not gonna get it. Alright, fighting on top of the truck here. Kind of a cool little sequence. He's got several kind of scenes like this in his movies, where he's on top of vehicles or hanging off vehicles.
I'm getting too old for this. Great, my first migraine.
As somebody who suffers from migraines, I can sympathize with you there, Jackie. Although I don't think that you typically get migraines from street fights, but you know, I don't get into many street fights, so I don't know.
Maybe we should talk about this. Pretty good, eh?
Alright, another level down. Next one is, on the list is Rumble in the Bronx. Now, Rumble in the Bronx has got, like, some fantastic cheese to it. I actually watched that one, probably a month or two ago. Again, I was just kind of like, I had a long day, and I was like, you know what, I need kind of a pick-me-up, so I watched Rumble in the Bronx, and the dub in that movie is just terrible. But it's kind of, you know, the film that gave him his big break.
You miss me.
In America, that is.
There's plenty more where I came from.
Alright, chef. Let's do this. Whoa, jeez.
Good morning, housekeeping. Why do you... Anyone know massage?
This guy is beating my ass right now.
Lay off or your grandpa gets it. Is that it? Deliver this.
Oh man, I'm in trouble.
Where I came from. What's cooking? There's plenty more where I came from. Why don't you stick to cooking?
I'm gonna have to, like, figure out some way to cheese this guy at this point.
Oh, my aching head.
But right now, it's not looking good for Jackie.
I made a beard on it.
There we go.
There's plenty more where I came from. What's cooking?
Okay, hoping there was more in there, but
You must weigh 1 ton.
there we are.
Your grandpa gets it.
See if we can get
Just the food, not
some
what
of
you
those
cooking
jump
it.
kicks
Just
in
the
there.
food, not what you cooking it.
That's what we need. That's what we don't need.
Your aim is better than your cooking.
Well, that's
Deliver this.
not what I was hoping for, but he keeps getting me with that move.
I stopped by for good meal. Look what happened.
I think we got this now. Although, as I say that,
Lay off or your grandpa gets it. What's
that's
cooking?
when it will go bad. There we go.
What a mess.
That was more intense than I expected it to be.
Bye-bye.
So continuing on our list, next is Police Story 2. And I mean, Police Story 2, I know I've seen it. I think I've only seen it once. But yeah, it's one of those movies to where it's like I don't really remember that, which is funny because I really like the Police Story
Get ready.
series, like I said. But yeah, unfortunately, I just don't really remember that. I know I've seen it. But yeah, it's funny, the next 3 movies, including Police Story 2, are both second movies in the series. So the next one is
All right.
is Rush Hour 2, which Rush Hour 2 is good. It's certainly, just like this list reflects it, it's not as good as the first one. But I mean, I do think that it's a funny movie. Again, I think, you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters. sure there's like some
Something's wrong here.
dragon or something up there, but not worth getting it since we're just doing an hour playthrough.
Maybe.
I like the kung fu dock worker here.
Don't hurt me. I'm free. A broken nail. You guys can't touch me. Ow.
I'm like, it's funny, like, you know, I've been playing a lot of like modern stuff lately, but I have recently played Turtles in Time, so you know, it's not like I'm out of practice with the beat 'em up genre here, but it's funny, like I'm wanting like some of the conveniences of like lock-on and stuff like that for more modern games, even though that's not really a thing in beat 'em
No
ups.
handing around.
But you know, sometimes it's like I'm like flailing around here, looking kind of wild here, just because I'm like trying to find them in the 3D space. At least for me, when I play a game, yeah, you don't even have the option to. I was gonna say, usually when I play like PlayStation, most of the games, like I have a natural tendency to go with the D-pad, just because like that's. I mean, when the PlayStation started, that's all I had, but you know, it's like what I was used to during that era, so it's kind of like muscle memory for me. Go check out what's up here. That doesn't look fun.
Do you mind?
Well,
I'm in a hurry.
I guess I'm not even gonna have to worry about that. That fell through that trap door.
What the?
But yeah, like D-pad in 3D spaces, not always the most responsive way to control. But like I said, I mean, that's what I'm like used to for these games. I feel like that is just gonna, especially since I don't really care, is not gonna be worth our time to get. Really use like a healing item here. Yeah, so the next one, kind of glancing over here, the next one is Armor of God 2. And again, I think the Armor of God series is awesome series. Really fun. So I would agree with that. I did like both the Armor God. This one is the one that is Armor of God 2 Operation Condor, which is probably the one I've watched more. But I don't know if I remember. Oh, well, that was stupid. I don't know if I remember the difference between the two, because it's been a long time since I've seen the two, so it's kind of like with Drunken Master, they kind of blend together to me in my memory. But yeah, number 12 on this list is Mr. Nice Guy, and here's the thing, I'm probably the biggest Mr. Nice Guy fan amongst people that I know, and even I would not put Mr. Nice Guy anywhere near number 12. I mean, maybe if you're ranking just Jackie Chan's American films or something, but I mean, it would be 12, but I mean, the movie is very stupid in its plot. Jackie plays like a chef, and he's just a nice guy. But you know, in typical Jackie fashion, he subsequently gets into trouble and things like that, and I don't know. It's not. Oh, jeez. It's not a great film, but I mean, it's an okay film, you know. I wonder if I can like hang there for a second. Or I wonder if I can like destroy any of this stuff. This looks like it's gonna be bad news for me. Can I shimmy? No, you cannot shimmy. It does look like you can hang there though. And of course I don't. I need to stop like hitting. I'm like naturally wanting to hit. There we go. Well, at least we got some health. I thought I had it that time. This is like gonna be like the annoying part of the playthrough here. It's so hard not to just want to hit up. Is there some way to roll? Ah, that would be helpful to know. I haven't had to do that up to this point. Ugh.
Anyone know massage?
All I care about is that we got past that part. I don't care how beat up we got. And I assume that this will be a checkpoint, and I don't have to do that again. And, lucky for you guys, you don't have to watch me do that again. Because I'm sure that was awful looking. It's like sometimes you encounter something like that in games, and it makes you feel like, have I ever played a game before? You know? It's like, it just makes you feel so ridiculous.
What did I ever do? Oh, not! Please, I don't want trouble!
I don't want trouble yet. Attacking. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna be chased by a train here. And yes, I am. Alright, here we go. I don't like the... Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't like the look of
I'm
this.
speaking!
I don't like when beat 'em ups have heavy platforming elements, as you obviously saw with those crates there. Cause I usually just don't think that they do a good job with them, typically, and it usually feels very clunky. Okay, this is not a great camera angle there, and I'm assuming there is a gap. Oh my god.
I get a sinking feeling.
That was actually kind of funny. I was gonna say, I feel like there's a gap there, which obviously there was. Next on the list is Shanghai Noon, which, let me just say, even more so than the Mr. Nice Guy movie, I don't like the Shanghai Noon, and whatever the other one is, Shanghai Nights, I think, films. I mean, they're okay, but I mean, number 13, which, keep in mind, this is number 13, and we haven't even had Super Cop or First Strike on here, which are excellent Jackie Chan films. Okay, buddy. you guys like that. So I mean, having Shanghai Noon up here is, I don't know, like, I mean, this is like kind of like a community based list on Ranker. I don't know if you guys have ever visited Ranker, but that seems awful to me. I mean, 355 people have voted for this being this high up on the list, and that's just ridiculous to me. Okay, so yeah, coming in number 14 is Super Cop, and Super Cop is up there for me as one of my favorite Jackie Chan films. It's just so watchable to me. It just has like a, I don't know, just like a level of comfort to me. Because I mean, there's definitely movies with better fights, like Drunken Master, or better stunts, like Police Story or Who Am I? But I mean, there's just something like I really like. I enjoy the dynamic between Michelle Yeoh and Jackie. I enjoy the plot of the film. I think it's entertaining. It's got like all the Jackie Chan elements to it I like.
This is the famous Jackie Chan? I am a little disappointed.
At this point, like you've seen, like, not that it really matters that I'm talking about these things, like Jackie Chan films had like these great overarching stories or something, but at this point, like, that character has, you've been around them for 3 films, you know, with the Police Story stuff. So I mean, it's just, I don't know, I like it a lot, and I would definitely like not only put it higher up, but I mean, having Mr. Nice Guy and Shanghai Noon higher than Super Cop is insulting to me. Need some milk or some rice here.
This is not fair. Give up?
God, how many guys are going to come down here and fight
I
me?
don't want trouble. I don't feel so good.
Okay, there's got to be something in here. It's like ridiculous the amount of guys. I think next on the list, I'm obviously in combat, so I can't glance over at it. But I think it's Project A2. And again, either I haven't seen them or I don't remember them. So unfortunately, I don't really have much opinion on that. The next one is Meals on Wheels. Now, Meals on Wheels is a film. It's probably like the Jackie Chan film that I haven't seen that I really want to see, because I've seen clips from that on some of the best fights sequences with the ropes and such, and that looks awesome. So I kind of really wish that I had seen that. And I do need to make a point at some point to check that one out. The next one is New Police Story, which, like I said earlier, is a kind of a different tone than the rest of the Police Story series. But it's a cool film.
Let's go.
Definitely the stunts are dialed back because Jackie's older now, but he kind of is like a drunk, down on his luck cop at this point in his career. It's more serious, but it's a good film. But I do want to say I'm kind of skipping ahead here, but number 20 on here is Forbidden Kingdom, which is a very, very mediocre film. I think that's the one that he did, yeah, with Jet Li. But then 21 is First Strike, which is kind of, it's Police Story 4, but it's kind of his take on the James Bond films. And I mean, First Strike's a good movie.
That's good fortune.
So I mean, I personally, you know, if it was me making the list, I mean, I definitely would not have First Strike that far back. I mean, First Strike would probably be, I mean, definitely top 10.
What? Not the face, not the face!
So I mean, without going through any more of these, because
You win.
getting close to an hour here. Just thinking about my own personal favorites.
Great, my first migraine.
It's kind of hard when I'm thinking about it here to kind of pick your favorites. And I mean, it's just obviously not like this is off the cuff. Like,
My teeth!
I haven't put tremendous thought into this.
Mama!
I feel like maybe, in terms of just pure quality, I'd probably put Police Story as my favorite. I'd probably put Who Am I
What the?
maybe number 2.
Look who's come out to play!
I think Super Cop would be number 3 for me. This guy seemed like a very like Americanized
What's going on?
Jackie Chan list here, but probably put like Rush Hour and First Strike also in my top 5. But I mean, Drunken Master's up there. It's just, you know, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I'm sure if I watched it again, I'd have a much higher opinion of it. It's just one that, like, you know, I haven't seen in a while, so it's kind of like escaped my memory here. I would also say Operation Condor is up there for me. Like, there's some really cool stuff in that film. And plus, like, I mean,
If you want me, you have to catch me.
Indiana Jones is like, I mean, Last Crusade is probably my favorite film ever. So Jackie Chan doing a Indiana Jones style film is, I mean, what's not to like there? Now, having said that, I'm a huge James Bond fan, so First Strike is also super cool. So it's kind of hard to choose there. But yeah, that would probably for me be my top 5. I'm sure there's Jackie Chan fans out there that are like
For your own good, go home now.
cringing at that list, but you know, it is what it is. I'm also not a
It's going to hurt in the morning.
huge movie buff to begin with. I don't watch a lot of films. Like, I'm somebody that,
I give up.
I mean, I used to watch more back then, but I kind of like those. Holy crap, I'm getting my ass beat here. And that's not where I want to go. I kind of like the cheesy action films, like, you know, growing up on Arnold, and then later Jackie Chan, Van Damme, stuff like that. Like, just, you know, corny action films, stuff like that. Like, I mean, they just don't really make those too much anymore. So, I mean, yeah, I'm somebody nowadays that maybe watches like a movie or two a year, like, so I wouldn't hold my opinion too high on actual movies. But having said that, something I am more knowledgeable about, I will say that, and I don't know if I'll ever check it out on this thing, but, you know, the GBA Jackie Chan title is really good. It's, you know, 2D, but it's also a beat 'em up, and it's got some cool elements to it. Alright, I'm gonna try to attack this differently. I'm gonna go from this direction and try to punch these guys off the ledge. There we go. That worked out better. That was a great sequence. You can see right there how much we've improved over the course of this video. From getting destroyed by those things to having a nice Jackie Chan looking sequence. I guess those are not destructible. Alright, here we go. I think even though the graphics are really simplistic, like, I mean, even like his facial expressions, like he did the facial expressions on the model. I mean, I think that they captured the charm of the Jackie Chan films really well in this game, to be honest. Now, I mean, having said that, you know, I'm playing on like with my actual copy of the game and on real hardware and everything. But having said that, I mean, it is a game that is expensive nowadays. I saw one out in the wild at a Second Charles, which is like a secondhand store. And I mean, I think they were selling it for like $70 now, which is that just seems pricey to me. Like, I mean, this game's good, but it's not $70 good. As much as I love Jackie Chan. Well, that's not something you see every day. I assume that's coming from above and not just fish dropping from the sky.
You must really want that package.
Yeah, I want the package. I don't want my grandfather. I'm like a really pissed off like the UPS worker here. Really concerned about my package.
I'm gonna puke. Maybe we should talk about it. I should have stayed.
Alright, just learn from our mistakes before. I want to be on this side of these guys.
Oh, the humanity.
Trying to punch these guys off the ledge. Oh my god, more guys.
And we are going to keep it.
Let's say that guy should be about dead.
What the?
Of course, more guys. Why not? Welcome to the party, guys. Can I break these trash cans? Oh man, I can. Get myself some of that trash milk.
Why me?
Gotta love video games. I'm sure that's not expired.
Here we go again. Ow, nuts.
I was hoping to do like a cool run off the wall move there. God, how many guys are there? This is getting ridiculous. Oh, that's that guy just stepped backwards off the ledge. He's like, I want nothing to do with Jackie.
Pretty good, eh?
All right, excellent. So with that said, that's we're approaching the hour mark, and we just finished a level here. So I think this will be our hopping off point here. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you enjoyed listening about Jackie Chan films and things like that. If you did like the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. I do these Let's Plays as well as some longer Let's Plays that actually go through entire games, as well as reviews. Now my reviews are of all generations, but they do have a tendency to focus on the PlayStation 1 generation, which is my favorite. It's my favorite system and my favorite generation. And I also do a series of videos on introducing games to children. So, you know, if you're a parent, be sure to check that out. But with that said, I will see you guys next time.